Have you ever noticed the fact that Christmas comes every year? Stay with me for a second. Regardless of the year leading up to it, Christmas still comes. Whether it was an awesome year or a terrible year, Christmas still comes. Whether it was a year filled with rich relationship or incredibly lonely, Christmas still comes. Whether it was a year that flew by with ease or one that felt like it dragged on with day after day of difficulty, Christmas still comes. And while you may not feel like that's a particularly profound idea because you understand how calendars and traditions work, I wonder if there's something for us there to remind us that our celebration of Christmas isn't predicated on the year that comes before it. That actually celebration is something that we do even as a discipline when the year has been hard. Did you know, in fact, that celebration is considered to be one of the spiritual disciplines? That if you're anything like me, you're like, well, discipline and celebration don't feel like they go together at all. But actually, celebration is considered to be a spiritual discipline, a practice derived from Scripture that's meant to aid and promote our spiritual growth. That it's included in a list of things like prayer and fasting and service and celebration. But actually, celebration is not just something that we see in Scripture. It's actually a command that's given to us repeatedly throughout the Bible. That Paul tells us in Philippians 4 to rejoice always. Again, he says rejoice. Psalm 95 tells us to enter his courts with thanksgiving, to sing a song of praise to him. And if your parents are anything like mine, I was woken up in the morning as a chronic oversleeper with Psalm 118, rejoice. This is the day that the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. How is it that celebration can be a command and something that we're asked to do repeatedly, even when circumstances don't feel like celebrating? I love, as one writer puts it, as what celebration does for us is that it anchors us in the deeper story. That we're reminded that while we may not feel like we have earthly circumstances we're celebrating, when we celebrate who God is and what he has done, we are reminded that we always have a reason to rejoice, regardless of the year that led up to it and regardless of what will come. Because we're anchored in the deeper story that while our earthly circumstances may not be worth celebrating, that our eternity is. And so wherever you found yourself this season, if celebration feels like something that comes easily, or if it's felt a lot more like a discipline in this season, would you be encouraged and reminded of what it is actually that we're celebrating? That even what was set in motion at that first Christmas is the very reason we have a reason to celebrate each and every day. And that it anchors us in the deeper story, knowing that we always have a reason to rejoice.